Good morning, good morning, good morning. What is up, everyone? Let me know if you can hear me okay before I start running my mouth and talk to myself. Good morning, good morning. It's Saturday, guys. If it's Saturday morning, you know what time it is. It's time for the Kick-Ass podcast here on Brass Ring Media. What's up, guys? What's up, what's up? Perfect. You guys hear me? What up, Sai? Dude, what a fucking week, man. What a week. To be honest with you guys, I had to play catch up on a lot of wrestling this week. I just, some people call it the trial of the century. I'm not going to go that far, but Sai, my guy, where is it at? Yeah. He said, glad this stream is happening because I have all the time after Karen Reed was freed. Bro, when I tell you, my dude, so we'll get into wrestling here in a second, but as people file in, when I tell you, dude, I was working, I was sitting in my car, I had the stream up, I was shaking, dude, I was literally shaking. When they said not guilty, I was like, all I heard was the guilty part, and I was like, wait, what? So I had to go back and I like turn my volume all the way up, dude. I fucking screamed, man. I screamed in my car. I'm not even gonna lie. I screamed and I clapped. Like you would have thought, like I don't know, my best friend was freed or my family members freed. I don't know, man. But it was what a week. What a week. I have just been consumed with that. So I have to play catch up on a lot of wrestling, to be honest with you. I have not even seen Dynamite from this week. But yeah, speaking of a lot to not even catch up on, but a lot to discuss here today though. That promo, man, last night, Jesus. Jesus. Cena, man, I probably the best segment that he's had since he turned heel, I would imagine, right? Um, maybe besides that first night at Raw, not the week after, but what was it, 2 weeks after he originally turned? Um, yeah, so we're gonna be getting into that for sure. Obviously, that's probably gonna be a heavy portion of today's show, and then talk about the other happenings from last night on SmackDown. Between the Karen retrial and then the NBA playoffs, guys, I have just been consumed with a lot of things, man, this week. But it's good, life is fun, guys. But good morning. I'm gonna be going through the chats here in a second. I was just trying to pull up to see if I had a full transcription of John Cena's promo from last night. I haven't listened to any like review shows or anything, so I don't fully know anyone else's opinion, which sometimes I like because I like to come in here and just, not being subliminally biased or anything like that. I saw a couple like things on Twitter, but nothing too crazy. But I saw from a couple of accounts that I follow, like some people were calling it like a ripoff or whatever. So definitely want to hear your thoughts for sure. um, Here we go. All right, cool. I think I got it here. All right, cool. But I'm gonna go through your chats here first. Say good morning to everyone, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of everything, as they say, right? And I should get the business part out of the way as well. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. We are looking to grow the channel here, obviously. And by helping us, you can simply just like the little stream here and you can subscribe. That helps get things onto the algorithm, things like that, all that good stuff. I don't know too much of the scientific stuff behind it, but I know that algorithm is a real thing. So if you feel ever is so inclined to do so, we would appreciate that here. And if you're watching on Twitter, what's up? I appreciate that via RVD stream. I appreciate that. A lot of people watch via Twitter. I never really thought that was a thing. I know I've talked about it here a couple times, but it's amazing how many people really do watch via Twitter. So yeah, shout out to you guys over there. But yeah, Universal. So you said strong promo wasn't copying a promo from many years ago is not strong. However, what was strong was how he told the truth about Phil being Punk. Phil was very upset backstage. Phil is turning heel. Man, I don't know. Like, yeah, where do you get your info from, bro? Like, how do you know all this stuff? Very interesting. Man, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna hold my thoughts here. I'm gonna go through and see if anyone else has mentioned anything thought wise, and then we'll get into it. I might want to just read it first, and then I'll kind of give my thoughts. Besides, said agreed it was a strong promo, strong delivery, hit a lot of talking points, built for next week. Looked like it had Heyman's fingerprints on it. Yeah, good point, bro. Good point with Heyman for sure. And obviously Heyman was there. I don't know if he's still traveling to every show. I know he was for a while there, but I don't know if he's still flying to every show or just obviously the shows that, his talent are directly involved in now being Raw. But shit, if I had Paul Heyman, I would use him as much as I could, dude. I would be like, so what's your limitations? When can you not travel? And go from there. What up, Sean? What up, man? What up? What up? It's good to see you, Sean. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, Sean, you missed it, bro. I can't even get into it. That trial, Sean. If I, I'd probably need like at least an hour to go over all the little intricacies of every little thing and every, like, even from the like day leading into the night it happened. Even that just has so much shit built into it. So, bro, I've thought about doing a stream, just kind of like not venting, but like venting in a good way over on obviously on my channel, Kick-Ass Podcast. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Dude, yeah, but Sean, the NBA finals have been really strong, dude. Who y'all got? Tomorrow's the big day, bro. Tomorrow's the big day, game 7. Who you got? Pacers or Thunder? Pacers or Thunder. And do not let your Pat McAfee like or dislike bias you in any way. I'm going Pacers. I've stuck with them the whole series, man. Not even the whole series, like the whole playoff run. I'm sticking with the Pacers, dude. Did y'all see that game? What night was it? Thursday night? Fucking killed them. They were up at one point like 30 points, I think it was. Like insane. I was happy because y'all know my little bet journey. I won like, I think it was like $210. Now I did lose like 3 other bets, which I think equated to like $35 total on those. Cause yeah, I'm a little lightweight over here, a little pocket change better. But I was so stoked. But yeah, guys, I want to know who y'all got for game 7 too. If y'all watch, I super stoked. I'm very, very pumped for it. It's just something about, even if you don't watch like, for instance, like the NBA or NFL or even like hockey, like it's just something about like playoff season, man. Just get you pumped. And people will say like, even like a lot of like, not to be, whatever, but like a lot of like wives and stuff, like the husbands would be like super into football, right? They don't really care, but when it's Super Bowl time, like they throw on that jersey, they get into it, they have no idea what's going on. They don't know what a field goal is. Like not all of them, but they get into it. And that's kind of tied into wrestling. That's like the fun part about sports, bro. Like it's the hype, it's the excitement, and even with wrestling, like right, like that's why they say like WrestleMania season is one, not even one of the best season for wrestling. It's the build going into our Super Bowl, right? But man, like, and I don't know. Let me know your thoughts overall on the Night of Champions card so far, and not really the political aspect of it because it's just one of those things at this point. But it just it gets you pumped, man. And I'm not saying like I'm that excited for Night of Champions, right? But just overall, just it's fun having sports, because at one point last night, what was during the Nia Jax segment and the promo between her and Tiffany Stratton, the fans, man, like just nonstop with the what chants. And I was just like, it was that one in Solo as well, when Solo was out there with Jacob. I was just like, can you just stop? Like, I'm just so over the what chants. It really takes away from some of the segments, dude. Like, just stop. Like, just stop. We have other stuff we can chant about and like songs, entrance themes we can sing along to, like the what chant is just, it really bothers me now. It used to not really bother me too much before, but now, man, it's just really annoying. And it made me think back to the COVID era, right? And like the Thunderdome days. A lot of pros and cons with that, right? And more cons, the overall setting and why we were in that situation to begin with, right? Is a definite con. But the one pro that we did get was no fan interruption, right? Like, no, we had serious promos. Y'all remember the segments between Roman Reigns and Jay back then when he was the right hand man and stuff like that? Those promos hit so much deeper and just resonated more because you didn't have fucking people right behind them saying what, and it's like why, I don't know. Like, it's frustrating because those will be the same fans that'll go online and bitch about like not having like a story or the story not being that great, and then you go to the show and you don't even allow them to explain the story. You know what I mean? And again, that's just my personal gripe. There are times when you can interrupt shit, right? Like during the match when the bad guy is getting over, when he's mocking you, stuff like that. Of course, and not even saying like you have to remain silent, but like just the what part is what's really just annoying. Like, can we find something else? I I wonder. I don't know if he's meant, or I know people have asked him, but I don't know his exact response. But I wonder what Stone Cold thinks about this what thing living on for what over 20 years now, and it started from a voicemail between him and Christian. He was leaving a voice, or was it him leaving the voicemail for Christian, or Christian leaving the voicemail for him? And like every other word or something, one of them said what? Oh, I can't remember. It was one or the other, but and again, I'm not like it used to be funny. Like Austin made it great, but it's like, can we drop it? I don't know. Sorry. Thank you guys for listening to my little soapbox rant there. I got my coffee this morning. We're cooking this morning, guys. We are cooking. Speaking of cooking, I'm actually thinking about making some bacon after this. Shawnee said you weren't missing much with Dynamite. All right, cool. Bro, yes. Sorry. I'm so happy you mentioned the Slim Jim. Because when I was driving to get my coffee this morning, again, my brain, whatever, I just randomly think of stuff. I'm going to get to the Slim Jim part because it's like, bro, like, like, how, like, I did read one tweet this morning that was pretty funny. They were like, they were like, I have breaking news. And then they like started their like breaking news. And I wish I could find, I'll see if I can find it later. They're like, breaking news. Sources have confirmed that that Punk is still laying in the ring in the Slim Jim table. And I was just like, yo, that's terrible. But to be fair, and obviously we're going to get to it, to be fair, Cena laid in that table when Punk gave his promo way back when for a long time too. So that part didn't really like, it is noticeable, right? But it's like, I don't know. That wasn't a big problem for me. Oh, Sai, thanks, bro. You said nothing to do with anything, but the tie-dye tee is amazing. Thanks, bro. I think I got this shit from Walmart. I think so. Way back when. And it says, work of art. Isn't it cool? I appreciate it. I love tie-dye shirts, man. Thank you. Oh, okay. So speaking of what I was just referencing, and thank you, Sean, for the super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. Very much appreciate you, man. You do not need to do that. But you say Punk just laying there for 10 minutes took me out of it. Cena's promo was fine, but I'm over the heel turn. And I literally just said him laying there wasn't a big deal to me. I'm happy you have. See, this is why I like doing this shit, man. Because we have opposing likes and dislikes, right? Which makes it fun. So I will be getting back to that, man. But thank you again. I really appreciate that. And the team here appreciates that. Very much so. Fernando, buenos dias, amigo. ¿Cómo estás? That, bro, depending on what part of Orlando you're in, that weather yesterday, crazy. I was working, I was inside of the shop, and then I was doing my estimate, and all of a sudden, I hear this crack, and then just heavy downpour. Like, what the fuck, man? And it went strong for a while. Sorry for all the side talk, guys. Oh, man. Yeah, Fernando, I am still crying about the what chance, bro. I am. And again, I'm happy you have opposing thoughts to this too. And I do agree. Like I said, they pay their hard-earned money to go to shows, and for a comparison, and I don't know, this may, if you want to, I don't know, this may call me, or I don't know, if you want, this may make me a hypocrite. I don't know, but y'all can be the judge. Remember when the height of like the Raw after Mania shows, when those diehard fans would be there, and I forget, where was it, in Brooklyn, or I forget exactly where it was, but Claudio, and I was there for one of them, but I don't think it was that one, but Claudio and Sheamus got really, Claudio in particular, got really pissed off by the that blow up ball, right? That beach ball that the fans, obviously a fan had brought in, and were just like hitting around the audience. And remember when they were doing the big wave and everything like that? I actually was involved in one. I'll see if I still have the footage. It was that one, and then there was another one, and he got pissed, grabbed the beach ball, ripped it up, right? And I don't remember if it was him specifically, but I know a wrestler had went out around that time and was like pretty much saying like it was disrespectful to the fans, right? And like they're out there performing and giving us a show, and we're out there making it about ourselves, and it's disrespectful, right? And my response and my thought, Fernando, was the same as yours, right? We pay our hard-earned money, and a good amount of money to go to these shows, and we literally like make a day of it, right? Like you have to rearrange, either you're taking a day off of work or you're rearranging your day. If you're able to go after work, that's cool. But sometimes people have to either take a full day off of work, take a half day off of work, whatever. Sometimes you have to drive a couple hours. Sometimes you're lucky it's right down the road, right? But the time to get there, the money, you're going to spend at least $100 when you're there, right? If you're bringing kids, I don't even know. God bless you, because I couldn't. But you're going to be spending a shit ton of money, right? So even if you sit in nosebleeds, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if even you spent like $15, right? It's the money that you earned. So 100% there with you, bro, because I was of that mindset too. And I am of that mindset. You, like I said, you make your money, you spend it to go there. And it's, as long as you're not being like completely disrespectful and like going out there and like, doing like personal attacks and stuff like that, then yeah, you have a right to react and do essentially like, I don't say do what you want, but kind of do what you want, like say what you want, chant what you want. So 100%, dude, I get that. But to me, there's a time and a place with it, right? Like if it's a serious promo and or like if it's a serious promo regarding like someone being recently injured, of course, storyline wise, right? Um, or just something where we're trying to like, it's a key part of a story to advance to the next chapter, right? Why do we have to interrupt it? Like why? Like there's, if it's just a heel coming out there just to bullshit on the fans, 100%. Like I said, like you don't have to sit there and remain quiet. But like if Solo was out there trying to give like a serious promo or trying to, really like develop something with him and Jacob, and or vice versa, or if it's Cena out there or whatever, like I don't know, like I just think there's a time and a place for it, man. But I, not even saying like get rid of it 100%, maybe, but just like kind of read the room is where I'm coming from with it. But yeah, happy to agree to disagree, dude. I miss Stone Cold, dude. But yeah, because Fernando said Austin is the GOAT. I miss him, dude. Like, but it makes me so happy seeing how happy and like not even content, like how happy he seems to be with his life, right? Like living. I didn't even follow him for the longest time on Instagram or on really much social media, which I didn't even realize until people started talking about his catch. Was it like Poncho and I don't know, I forget the other cat's name, but like that was the thing. Like people were like, like you would see like on Twitter like little clips of him like chasing the cat or whatever. And the dude is just living his best life, man. Like he has like I don't even know how many acres out there riding his four wheelers and all that shit, and his golf carts out there. And I'm just like, bro, like as much as like selfishly as a fan, like I'd love to see him back, not I obviously actively wrestling, but involved somehow or making appearances a little bit more frequently. I'm just so happy dude out there is living his best life, man. Like, cause he fucking put his body through it, man. Obviously, we know his neck injuries, his knee injuries. You remember, like, he was going out there, like, he had both, like, those heavy, like, metal knee braces, right? Like, just insane. Zach Haydorn, obviously, one of our patriarchies here at Barshing Media, he has done extensive, I don't want to say, well, yes, he's done extensive research, but he has extensive knowledge and vast knowledge of Stone Cold, and he's actually written a book about it. So if you, I don't know where the exact link is, but if you check out Zach Haydorn, of course, his Twitter page, I'm sure he has the link there. I think it's on Amazon. I don't want to misquote that, but definitely check it out. So he is our like Stone Cold, like little guru here. But yeah, like just when you think about everything that Austin did and the short length of time that he was on top, dude, it's crazy to think that Cena has been on top longer than Austin, technically, and like in ring, like wrestling wise, it's just crazy. And yes, I thought about that too. It was you said the original fun fact, the original pipe bomb promo was Punk, or from Punk was after a match between Cena and R-Truth. Yes. I'm gonna start that one because I want to ask y'all a question about R-Truth. So thank you for that, my friend. Bacon and eggs Benedict. That's funny. With a little piece of toast. Love me my toast. I had a bagel yesterday. That shit was so good. I never used to be like a big butter fan, but I put a little bit of butter on it with some cream cheese. On point. All right, so yeah, so you're kind of like a blend and kind of a little bit where I'm coming from. You said I agree with Fernando that fans pay their money to go and watch the show, but not to be the show. The what chant or the whats are too much. It's been a quarter of a century. Yeah, bro. Just time and place is where I'm coming from. Time and place. Okay, Mr. T, what up, bro? What up, what up? He said, didn't have a problem with Punk laying down. It's called selling. If you get put through a table, what do you expect? Also, hope the match would be great in Saudi. The beach ball happened at SummerSlam. It was the Bar versus Ambrose and Rollins for the tag titles. Okay. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, I couldn't remember the original one. That's funny, sorry. I mean, yeah, though I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the table and him laying there. CM Punk is 46. Sounds about right, yeah. What up, CB? What up? What up? Goldberg is 58. Jesus. Fucking Goldberg, bro. Y'all want to talk about some shit. Fucking Goldberg. All right, so getting into the actual substance of the promo itself. It followed the R-Truth match, which I guess I'll start with that really quick. The Truth match. So first with his entrance, right? Like I don't know. My interpretation of the promos that he's been cutting and like the interviews on pretty much what he's been saying on TV since he's been brought back is that he wants to be taken seriously, right? Like he wants to pretty much change like his perception, he being Truth, and his name is Ron Killings, right? So I was like, dope, okay, cool. That's what I had been calling for going into the Saturday night's main event match, all that stuff. We're not gonna bring that back up. But I was like, okay, cool. Now I was just kind of confused. I love the haircut, right? Like all that good stuff. Cool. Building up to it, fine with. Maybe tweak the little things, but whatever. Nothing major. With him coming out to his same music, first of all, I was like that was what struck me first. I was like I thought you wanted to be taken more seriously, but like you're like we were just saying earlier with the fan involvement and stuff like that. His song and like his entrance theme is one of those themes that people sing along to, right? Like that's the whole that it's built like that's what he's built it into. Now, like he was rapping, they would the party would be like, "What's up?" So obviously he didn't do that, but it's still the same song. And I guess you can make a case for similarity with Cena, right? Like, but at least Cena explained it, and maybe Truth or Ron Killings did, and I missed that. But I don't know. It was just odd to me, like why have the same music if you want to be taken more seriously? So maybe just something minor that stood out to me. What's up, buddy? But so that was just one thing, and then a minor thing. He wore his "What's Up" shirt. Like, bro, like, why didn't you wear your like the new like those badass shirts with like I don't know, like the truth will set you free, like the shirts that we looked at in one of the previous stream. So I don't know. It just kind of those little things stood out to me. Again, just nitpicking, but I want to go all in with Truth, right? Or Ron Killings. Like I want to know for certain, like, am I calling him our Truth, like Truth anymore? Is it like Ron the Truth Killings? Like, is it just Ron Killings? Like, I just kind of wanted like a clear direction. But I don't know, that's just me. The match itself was fine. No surprise with the ending. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not surprised. I was a little intrigued on how they were going to end it. I kind of liked how they did, though. To be honest with you, I've always, kind of sat there and thought, like, if you're a bad guy, like, why not just and you don't want to work the match. We see them. It's the typical, right? Like the bad guy leaves the ring, they start to head to the back. The good guy catches up to him, beats them down, brings them back to the ring. They continue the match. I love that Cena was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. He starts to walk towards the back. Truth comes out, and then he just clocks Truth over the head with the title. He got disqualified. I was like, thank you, bro. Like, yes, it's just simple shit. Like if you're a bad guy and you don't want to wrestle, just fucking clock him over the head and be done with it. I just thought it was great. I thought it was great. So yeah, props to him for that. And then, of course, that led to CM Punk's music hitting, Punk coming out. And again, I loved the trap that Cena was laying for him. I love that Cena at first was kind of like crouched down, waiting to hit Truth. I'm just going to call him Truth with the title. Like I said, Punk's music hits. But then Cena, he turns around and runs back to the ring, right? He's kind of like baiting Punk to the ring. Obviously, sets him up and gives him the AA attitude adjustment through the Slim Jim table. Have they said that anyone snapped into a table or snapped through a table yet? Have they said that on commentary? If not, they're. I mean, fuck, you were already marketing it. You might as well go all in. Ridiculous. And yeah, who said it earlier? Was it? Oh, I can go back. Whoever said it, like with the Slim Jim part, being on the table and it taking them out of it. Yeah, like the entire time, like you would get the angle of Punk, you see Slim Jim right there, and it's like, come on, like really, like I don't know. And I was even giving them credit because at the start of the show, I was like, man, I love the crisp look on SmackDown. I love the blue mat with the big W logo, and I just like it's what silver, right? And then the red line underneath, the robes. I just dig it. I just really like the blue vibe. And they had a great segment going and they ruined it with the Slim Jim logo. And I love Slim Jims. They're not great for you, but whatever. Sometimes I was gonna say something, but as I was about to say it, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Anyway, anywho, but yes, so let me know your thoughts on Truth, though, guys, and your thoughts on. That's what I wanted to know. Your thoughts on Truth, this new version of him. Obviously, we're not going to go into. We've already discussed the origins at the beginning of it, but last night in particular, like, what do you think about him having the same music? And I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think. Am I kind of being a little bit too harsh or whatever? But let me know what you think. And we will be getting into the promo here right now. All right, so get a little sip of the coffee. Sorry, what is that drink you drink at Starbucks? You said it was like oatmeal, shaken oatmeal espresso or some shit. What were you drinking that other day? That was a massive drink. I was a little jealous. All right, so CM Punk came out. We're gonna kind of back up a second, then we'll lead right into it. Punk came out. Cena rushed back to the ring. Punk ran to the ring, was hit with punches, blah, blah, blah. Punk picked up the title belt and wound up to hit Cena, who kicked him in the balls, because that's what we do in wrestling. We kick each other in the balls. Cena picked up the title belt while Bear called him desperate and soulless. Cena struck Punk with the title again, left the ring. Shout out to Jason Powell at ProWrestling.net. That's where I'm reading the transcription from. He says, Cena left the ring and pulled out the idiotic sponsored table from underneath the ring and slid it into the ring, or slid it inside the ring. Fucking props, dude. Exactly. Idiotic sponsored table. That's great. And of course, Cena put Punk through the table with the sponsored table through the with the attitude adjustment. Cena grabbed a mic from ringside and then returned to the ring and laughed while he sat on top of the turnbuckle. And I think to be fair, the promo itself went about like 6-7 minutes. So I think what they were trying to do is make it the exact time or damn near close to the length that Punk's was as well. So I really would be interested to see both of the time frames for the promos. I'll look that up, not on the show because it's not really that important. But grabbed the mic and returned to the ring, and like while he sat on top of the turnbuckle, Cena started to talk and could be heard. But then I don't know if he meant could not be heard. Oh, could not? Yeah, he probably meant could not be heard. Yeah, whatever. And that was. And someone was afraid of what he had to say. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And then tapped the mic and said someone was afraid of what he had to say. Cena said he had a lot to get off his chest before he leaves in 6 months. And keep in mind, while Cena is doing this again, he was sitting on top of the turnbuckle, pretty much diagonal from where Punk was. The shot was cool, except for the Slim Jim part. The Punk was laying, and the table that was broken was kind of like back, like the back of it where the legs are was kind of facing more towards where Cena was, and then Punk was kind of like facing more towards us, kind of a little bit of at a diagonal, and then you had Cena directly across Cali. So it was a really cool setup, except for the Slim Jim part, because that was just like dominating. You just couldn't miss it. So again, Cena said he had a lot to get off his chest before he leaves in 6 months. He said he doesn't hate Punk. Cena said he likes Punk more than anyone Punk shared a locker room with, which could be true. Cena said Punk is better than him at one thing. You're the best bullshitter in the world. If you remember. And in the promo package that they did leading up to it, which WWE did a fantastic job on, just the yin and the yang and the comparison. Oh, if you haven't watched it, or if you missed it rather, go back and see that, because that shit was just great. They took out the part where Punk said, you're like the best, like you're the best at kissing Vince McMahon's ass or something like that. They took out the Vince part and just said you're the best at kissing ass. So interesting. But yes, again, Cena called Punk the best bullshitter in the world. Cena said the show was off the rails because he said a curse word, which is the bullshit word. Which, I did like that he said the actual bullshit. Like, he didn't like say BS or like censor himself or anything like that, because fuck it, dude. Like, yeah, you're a bad guy, and in some areas of the world you're on Netflix, and like, I'm sorry, but like, little kids aren't going to explode from within if they hear the word bullshit or damn. Like, they'll be okay, or ass. Like, they will be okay. Come on. It's just whatever. I'm not gonna get sidetracked. But Cena said, or Cena called for the cameraman, which is Stu, waved at the camera and said he was breaking the fourth wall. Cena said he's jealous of Punk because he convinced the people that he's the best in the world. Cena said the fans chant and cheer for Punk, but they don't believe a goddamn word you say because you change your values as much as I change my t-shirt. Which I thought was very clever because, as we all know, Cena has, I can't even tell you, like, I'm it's got to be a shirt for every color that's out there. Except for tie-dye. I don't think he has a tie-dye shirt. But we all know. Because that was the thing that Rock kind of shit on him for, right? The Fruity Pebbles. Way back when. So I thought that was good, you know, because people say, oh, as much as I change my underwear. But Cena tying it into himself, as much as I change my t-shirt. I just thought it was really clever. Cena said Punk is a loudmouth opportunist who will step on the neck of people who actually work hard if it gets him ahead. Cena looked into another camera and said, hey, Claudio Castagnoli. Hey, Nick Nemeth. Hey, Matt Cardona. How are you guys doing? Oh, yeah, we're still on, baby. He's heating up. He's on fire. And there's somebody back there who will cut my mic to save your ass because I'm your only friend. So Cena was having some fun there. Of course, referencing the callback to, hey, Cole Cabana, you know, when Punk was sitting on the stage and waved his best friend at the time, which, wow. What has it been? God, it's been 14 years? Yeah, 14 years, right? Since that, Jesus, that's crazy. Yeah, because he left in 2014. That's crazy, dude. Continuing on, Cena says, remember who gave you the stage for your pipe bomb, pal? What have you done with it since then? You just keep regurgitating the same 5 microphone moves of doom. Your promo potato salad, pal. Hey, you're no longer the voice of the voiceless. You're a freaking millionaire despite yourself. You're not a punk. You're a capitalist. Whew. That's pretty heavy. And it's heavy, but I'll hold on to it. Overall thoughts. But the potato salad, I didn't really get the potato salad part. Like, is that a bad thing? I like potato salad. Like, what? Your promo potato salad is like your mush? I didn't get that part. Let me know, please. Someone explain the potato salad reference, though. I could be missing something very obvious, so it's fine. But let me know if you guys understood the potato salad reference. Is it mush? I don't know. Anyway, Cena continues, and you're not against TKO, dude. You are Mr. TKO because they knocked your balls technically off your body. Your tweets are strong. Your actions are weak. And in Saudi Arabia, you're going to face some loud, loud music when I finally prove to the world that each and every day, day in and day out, no days off for 25 years, not technically true, I have been the greatest of all time. So fans started chanting for Cena pretty strongly. Cena says, see, they know, and they know that you were the best in the world for 7 minutes. Yeah, 14 years ago. And after Night of Champions, if you're still delusional enough to believe you're the best in the world, well, I guess it's a small world after all. You're welcome, Grand Rapids, because they're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Some more fans cheered. Cena held up the mic, told Punk to bring his A game to Night of Champions because, as the building showed, the mood is starting to change, which I thought was very interesting. Get back to that if I remember. A referee checked on Punk. Cena said it was fine because he wouldn't do more damage. Cena said Punk has a big championship match ahead of him. Excuse me. Cena said best in the world gets his shot at the greatest of all time. Cena said USA Network could keep the extra 2.5 minutes because he didn't need a bomb. And I guess he was censored because Jason Powell references here to back up again. Cena said USA Network could keep the extra 2.5 minutes because he didn't need a bomb. And in parentheses, he was censored before he said mother fudging building. So I guess USA thought he was gonna say motherfucking. I mean, come on, he's not gonna go that far. I doubt. Maybe. I don't know. I doubt it on TV though. Cena dropped the mic, but then picked it up and thanked Punk for letting him rip off his promo to make him look even more foolish. Tessitore mentioned Punk's pipe bomb promo, adding that it occurred 14 years ago next week. There we go. Cena stood on the apron and played to the crowd, then went to the middle rope and held up the title belt. Some fans cheered. Punk started to show signs of life finally. When Cena made his exit, Cena held up the belt on the stage and then blew a kiss after the executive producer credits were shown. All right, guys. So that is the promo in its entirety. Few things. I don't know. The first thing, that's just the first line that I saw right here, really quick. The whole, I guess I should go through it again. I mean, I did just read it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think first, and then I will give you my thoughts because I'm gonna know your thoughts first. Let me move the screen really quick. Oh, and there's this cool thing too. Let's see if it shows. I don't know if it'll show, but StreamYard does this thing where you can show comments on the stage now, it says. So, see what that looks like. All right. I don't know, because we'll see. We'll see. I'll leave it on for now. I'm just scrolling back up here real quick, guys. Yeah, Fernando, nice. Someone talking about, who was it? Mr. T, Cena's merch. I was thinking about that this morning when I was going to get my coffee. Like, can you imagine the money that dude made off of merch alone? Just merchandise alone. Like, oh. This may sound weird, and I normally don't care, but I would love to just know, like, just like how much money the dude has. Not because like I want to know his business, but just like how, like, I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine how, like, and not just him, right? Like, just to see the number, right? Like, I don't need to know. I would just a little box, like, just to see the total number, like how many zeros, just to see like what that number, like, what the fuck, and like from someone like, I mean, fuck, like Elon Musk. Can you imagine, like, you probably need to like extend your screen to fit the whole amount of money the dude has in his bank account, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. Like, they say money doesn't bring happiness, but bro, money solves a lot of stress. I just can't imagine. Like, and I saw this thing where I don't know if it was a billion or if it was a million. Definitely a million. But like, if Elon Musk gave everyone in the world like $1 million, he would still have like billions and billions of dollars left. And it's just like, wow, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. We're not gonna get into politics, but seeing Cena's merch just like made me think about that because I was thinking about it this morning. Just crazy. Just like seeing that number, dude. Like, can you imagine? I'd be like, yo, something's wrong. I'd call the bank like, yo, something's wrong. Yeah, I just don't think Cena or Punk is turning heel right now. I definitely expect him to, maybe within the next year or two, but and depending on the direction they want to go in, I don't see it within this year though. Definitely not in 2025. It depends on what it really, and I hate saying it depends on the story and like with the direction because that's the same thing with everything, but I just feel like they have good things going right now. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't really turn anyone else until Cena is done with this year. Kind of let that go through, let that cool off, and then like take a look at the land, lay of the land as they say, and go from there and see what you really need. But I don't see it happening right now. What up, Dr. Ross? What up, sir? Let me turn my volume off. Good morning. Good morning. Sean, you said his heel turn for me is just so not believable for so many reasons. Did last night help you at all? I'm assuming not, Sean. Did that didn't sway you anymore, or did it actually help solidify how you feel that it's just not believable? Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, Mr. T, right? You say, yeah, plus the Fruity Pebbles deal had to be good too. Bro, the dude is everywhere. I was in fucking, it was like Racetrack, this gas station down here. And I was walking to get into the line, and there was this big cardboard cutout of John Cena. It was like some, God, I don't even remember. It was like, I don't know if it was like it was some protein thing. I don't even know what it was. Like some protein snack or drink or something. But it was like some slogan like "Get fit like me" or some shit. And I was like, this I can't fucking escape him. For someone I can't see, like he's everywhere. Bless him, dude. Bless him. That's what I'm saying. Like any one of his deals, any one movie that he was in, like he could live the rest of his life on. When you just add all of it, like bro, like I can't even imagine, dude. And like and I'm not hating at all. Like it's the exact opposite. I'm just like so fucking impressed and like happy for him because like you think back to not saying he was like from the trenches, but at one point, I remember I watched this documentary on him back when WWE was still doing everyone was still doing DVDs, and it was the one where Cena was like obviously he was on the cover, but it was like some like old timey car, and he was kind of like leaning out like tank tops, obviously some jean shorts on. And he was just kind of chilling, and I'm like leaning against it. And there, as any documentary does, they start from the childhood, to their career. And when he was getting into wrestling, they got to the point where he was in California. I forget the gym. Was it Gold's Gym or like one of the big gyms out there? And he was sleeping in his car, like he was like pretty much just like not homeless, but living at the gym and just sleeping in his car, and that was his life, and he gave up everything, like moved over there and just, was grinding. As a lot of people do, like to be fair, a lot of people do. Darby Allin, I don't know why, just a lot of people thought of Darby Allin. But a lot of people do, and a lot of people make sacrifices. But that's why like I can only hit on like, character wise, like it is what it is. But like people like Darby Allin, for instance, like seeing where he came from, and dudes out there fucking climbing Mount Everest and all that shit, like it's amazing, dude. And I don't know, that's just another reason why I love wrestling, right? But seeing the money and the growth and just the trajectory of Cena, and when you think back on it, man, like the dude was almost fired. If it wasn't for some bus trip, I think in the UK, maybe, that Stephanie McMahon just randomly happened to be on, and him rapping in the back and just bullshitting. I wonder what the not to keep using that word, but the trajectory of WWE would be. Not that they would have tanked or anything like that, but I wonder who would have been the star. Would have been Randy Orton going forward? Would have been Batista? Brock Lesnar? Maybe they would have fought to keep Brock Lesnar a little bit more. Very interesting. Very interesting if they would have cut Cena. And what would he have done? Because at the time there was no other real company to go to, right? I think TNA started in 2002, I believe. So he could have gone there, but I don't know. I think it could potentially be one of the greatest what if questions. If Cena had gotten fired, what would have happened? Or what would WWE have looked like? And just to be fair, like what would wrestling have looked like? Again, not saying that wrestling would have tanked and he like carried wrestling or anything like that, but he was a major component of it. And say what you want. I didn't mean for this to be a whole like diatribe of Cena, but he really did help WWE's image when they needed it. When a lot of bad things were happening with the Chris Benoit thing and Eddie Guerrero passing away, and just the perception that the media was creating about WWE, like, well, just wrestlers dying and like super young and stuff. And again, like, there was a real problem, and not going to get all into that because that's not the whole point here. But to be fair, John Cena really helped support WWE and really kind of PG it up, right? And be like, no, we're not this terrible company. We love kids. Look at us. We do all this. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Because you couldn't have done that approach with someone like a Lesnar, right? Maybe with a Batista, not with the Randy Orton at that time frame, just how he was behind the scenes. And again, no judgment, just what he said himself. Like, he wasn't the nicest guy. He was a young 20-something. He was all about, he was that dude, right? That Evolution video with him in the nightclub with sitting at the table with Triple H and Randy Orton. I'm sure that was a real deal, real life, not just something that they had to create for not even a promo, but for to be included in their Titantron video. Like, yeah, I can only imagine the life of Randy Orton. You want to talk about fly on the wall? Can you imagine? But yeah, like, if you take Cena out of it, it makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Maybe we'll do an in-depth dive on that one day. Pin that on the board for later. I think I really like this camera. What do you guys think of this camera, though? I got a previous camera that was nice, but God, the focus would not stop. And you couldn't go in there and adjust the settings at all. And like, if I would move sometimes, not if, but when I moved, it would try to like refocus and it would drive me nuts. So this one seems to be pretty clear, and the focus stays put. So let me know what you guys think, though. And the little, point it like you guys can see, and the chat's on the screen. What do you guys think of it? Is it distracting? I kind of like the way they have a transparent background behind it. Let me know what you guys think. But I'm going to scroll up a bit because I've been running my mouth on some random shit. But good morning to everyone filing in, and good morning to everyone on Twitter as well. Got a strong viewing party over there, so I appreciate you guys. Dr. Rashi said next Friday is the 14th anniversary of the original Pipe Bomb. That is not a coincidence. Yeah, dude. And like Sai had mentioned earlier, the match that Cena had for right before that Pipe Bomb was against R-Truth as well. Wrestling can be beautiful, man. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Christopher Killa. What up? What up? Oh, the dog just came over here and burped. I don't know if you guys heard that. RT the brand, what up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. All right, cool. You guys are going strong out there in the chat. I like that. I like that. So, one last sip. All right. Excuse me. So, my thoughts on the promo as a whole. I loved it. I fucking loved it because it's such a beautiful story, right? And the first thing that it made me think of, honestly, once I realized, oh shit, he's playing off of, in the direction that they were going in, I thought of Bray Wyatt, man. I thought of what WrestleMania was it? When The Fiend, not even The Fiend, when Bray Wyatt took John Cena through, what was it called? The Funhouse thing. But y'all know what I'm talking about if you saw it. Pretty much going through the story of John Cena, right? And how he literally took him through like the beginning when he was in the tights, all the variations, people wanting him to turn heel, the NWO part, all of that. Like the purpose of the quote unquote match, right? With Bray was not the match, obviously, it was the story and showing the journey of Cena and really just displaying that. And when I watched, or when I saw Cena get on the turnbuckle, Punk laying there in the table, and Cena started the first couple lines, I was like, oh wow. And it made me immediately think back to what I said, I think right when, I don't know if it was before the heel turn for Cena or right after it, but I think it was before. My thought for his retirement tour was to pretty much go through and play the greatest hits, right? To go through and revisit all of his greatest stories and to go back and revisit and replay all of his greatest rivals, right? And all of the best matches that he's had. The biggest rivalries, right? Like you have, I doubt we're gonna get a Batista and a Brock Lesnar, although that would be kind of interesting. Both for various reasons. But you have your Randy Ortons, right? Obviously you can't do Edge, that'd be dope if you could. But you have your Randy Orton, you have your Punk, you have as you think about it, in his he didn't have like the greatest rivalry with Triple H. But you can go through and play up to all the biggest moments that Cena's had and with the talent that that obviously you still have access to. And seeing him start that promo against Punk, I was like, bro, like I loved it because as they did with the promo package before, they showed you the story, man. They really broke it down for you. They showed you the beginning, how different they both were. And I loved the comparison with the yin and the yang. I just thought that was so clever. They showed John Cena and Punk on obviously the yin and the yang, went through the entire story and then how it switched to present day. And I just thought that was so well done. Like probably one of my favorite packages they've done in quite some time, to be honest with you. So props to them on that. I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch it again. I'm gonna wrap up the show here, but I loved that, and that set the stage. And with them picking out key parts when they got to the part or to the Punk part of the promo package, that played and reminded you, but it didn't smack you in the face to be like, this is what, like, oh, like make it obvious. You know what I mean? It kind of eased you into, and at least for me, it was like I said, like, oh, like again, when Cena went to the turnbuckle, not maybe as much because obviously when Punk said his, Cena was in the ring, but Punk was sitting on top of the stage. But when Punk was laying in the table, and then you just saw the visual, right? And then, like I said, the first couple lines was like, "Let's go, dude, let's go." And I loved how he, being Cena, played into and intertwined some real life stuff, right, with the tweets, but he didn't directly make it so blatantly obvious, right? It's not like he was like, oh, and like you're a hypocrite, like you said this is like, obviously you could have said what the tweet actually said on TV, but he could have at least been more specific with it, and he didn't. But he did say the word tweet, which if you know, you know, right? So it's one of those where if you aren't too familiar with what he's, or if you not even aren't too, if you don't know what Cena is referencing in regards to something on Twitter, you can just be like, oh, maybe Punk is one of those Twitter warrior people, right? Like he goes on there and he's, like even if you just know, if you're one of those people that just watches wrestling on TV, right? Like you don't follow any of the wrestlers on social media, nothing else, if you're just I guess a casual fan, right? You would assume with the character that Punk has portrayed that he is one, and you would assume this would tie into his real life just with the presentation of him, of his character, that he is firm in his beliefs, right? Even just being straight edge, because granted, like whether you are straight edge or you're not, being straight edge does take great discipline, right? And it does take great I guess discipline is the best word, but great control and I don't know, like for some people it's easier than others, right? Like some people just have no interest at all. Some people have been tempted to try, whatever, but they're like, no, I really want to stay straight edge for X, Y, and Z for whatever beliefs, But that right there in itself is a strong belief itself, right? And it's, I don't know, I don't want to get too in depth in it, but that right there, even like if you know nothing else of Punk, you know that, and so it's like, okay, so you would assume he has strong beliefs on other things, right? So you don't even need to know specifically what Punk said about Miz and Saudi Arabia and anything like that, or that he potentially is a hypocrite. None of that. You don't need to know the specifics, but when you hear Cena say that, you're like, oh man, like okay, like Punk doesn't surprise me. Punk's probably talking shit on Twitter. You know what I mean? So, but they're not going to put too much weight into it. But for people like us who sit here on Saturday mornings and talk about it, we obviously know, right? And that has been the big talking point on many shows for, when was it announced? Like the past week and a half. That this match has been announced, maybe longer at this point. So, yeah, and again, like I don't know, like, do I think Punk is a hypocrite? Yes and no. Again, like I want to hear, and again, biasy, right? I want to hear his his reasoning, right? And okay, so kind of backing up a bit, not to get too sidetracked, but this does play into it because it was kind of part of the promo, right? And the one of the big key points going into Night of Champions. The tweet that Punk sent out against The Miz or directed to The Miz years ago. Don't need to say it, right? You know, if you know, you know, which I know you guys know. Obviously, it shows, and you can make assumptions of Punk's opinions on Saudi Arabia government and things like that. And again, this isn't a political show. I'm not here to say who is right and who is wrong. Everyone has their own beliefs, which plays into the point, right? Which is essentially the point. Punk has his beliefs, and other wrestlers have their beliefs as well. Punk, though, is that guy who smacks you in the face with what he believes in, right? And I think Wade Keller has said it before that Punk is that guy where he can be right. Like if he could be right about like the sky being blue, right? If you ask him like, "Hey Punk, what?" Where you're standing outside with him, you're like, "Hey, what is this? What color is the sky right now?" And be like, "Oh, it's blue." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And he'd be like, "No, it's blue." And like, "All right, I got you." Like, and he can like make you get to the point where it's like, fuck, man, like, okay, I get it, it's blue, like whatever. Like he can make you like frustrated that he's right. You know what I mean? um for some people, not me personally, but some people, so I totally get that, right? Now with this, I don't know his true beliefs. I don't know if he was always like strongly against ever going to Saudi Arabia, if he was against WWE's partnership with Saudi Arabia, anything like that. So, and there may have been an interview that he's done. I completely could have missed that. But with what and with me, like I'm that person, like I like to see how shit plays out, right? I know it's a common excuse and some people hate that shit. But for the majority of things, I like to wait and see how it plays out. I'll still have opinions on it, right? Which, like I do with Punk right now. But I would really like to hear, like I said before, like for instance, like Ariel Helwani, I think would be a perfect platform for Punk to go on. Which again, like it's gonna be tough, right? But I think that would be a perfect platform for him to be able to go on and be like, for Ariel to ask him like, "Yo, what's up with Saudi?" And again, not to maybe say the exact verbiage of Punk's tweet, but give him a chance to explain himself, essentially. Not that you can say not that he needs to, which is fair in some points, but to be fair, on the other side, when you are a public figure, a celebrity, whatever you want to call wrestlers, right? And when you get to a certain level, if they make a stance and they make something public, you do have a right to ask them questions on it and to, I don't want to say judge them, but to essentially that, just ask them their take on it and to essentially hold them to it. But for instance, me, like if I said that tweet, and I'm turning around and going to Saudi, like I would expect people to be like, yo, what the fuck? Like you had some shit to say about this before, like, but now you're going and be like, yeah, well, this is like the whole picture, So part of me does think he should find a way to address this, but the other part of me knows that he's really not going to be able to fully while he's still under contract with WWE. Because like what did we like expect him to really do to addressing wise, right? Like while he's still under contract, like do you really think he's gonna go out there and be like, yeah, like fuck Saudi Arabia, like fuck TKO, like I just like I gotta do what I gotta do, like I'm stuck, like I mean, no, like he can't really say anything right now. And again, not making excuses. That's just kind of the facts. Like it's the same thing for us, right? Like we're like with our employer. Like if we are stuck working wherever we're working and we're not happy, we can't go out here and be like, yo, fuck this. I fucking hate this employer. Da 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 da. And not expect any consequences, or if shit got back to him, So it's just a shitty situation. Now, like I mentioned before, you did have wrestlers who did not go on the trip to Saudi for various reasons. And then you did have, I think, it was Mustafa Ali who donated his earnings from the shows to whatever charity. So you do have options. But again, man, I don't know. It's just it's just one of those things, man. You could really like get in the nitty gritty of it when you think of what companies and what major brands that we all interact with that have dealings with various countries in the world. It's just when you really break it down, it really is kind of sad, but that's just the world, man. Like again, obviously, like for me, it hits a little bit different, like someone like me could never go to Saudi Arabia, could never go over there. I probably wouldn't even make it out of the airport. You know what I mean? And this match, Cena versus Punk, it's a real bummer for me that it's happening over there just because depending on where it would happen in the US, I'd love to go see it. You know what I mean? Like if it was in anywhere on the East Coast, essentially, like depending on the day, whatever, like I would try and make it a point to go. And with it being in Saudi, obviously that's not an option. So even if I was a regular dude, if I was just a dude, like it's very fucking expensive, I'm sure. I've never even looked at tickets. But me being me, I would not be accepted, to say the least. So it's a bummer, man. And so when you think of a big match like this happening and it's happening over there, it is a little bit of a bummer, But what are we going to do about it? If you feel that strongly about it, then I would ask why are you even watching WWE to begin with? Because it's just because you can break it down and get really, really in depth into it, right? So it's just one of those things. I know some people who are fans of WWE and just who have never watched one of the Saudi shows at all, which is fair and props to you, whatever you feel is best for you and your beliefs, that's fine. But to me, to wrap it up, I would love to hear his thoughts on it and his side of it and kind of judge it and go from there, really. So that's where I'm at with that portion of it. Now, getting back to the promo itself, I am with him laying in the table. I think it was Sean, right? You had said, and thanks again, man, for the super chat. He has a Punk just laying there for 10 minutes took me out of it. Cena's promo was fine, but I'm over the heel turn. Punk laying there for however long it ended up being, if it was the 10 minutes, to me, like, I could kind of see it both ways too there. Like, I totally get it, you should be able to get up. But, first of all, Cena did the same thing too when Punk was giving his speech, so it played into that. But also, it's one of those things where it's like, fuck, man. Like, if I just got put through a table and this guy is sitting there talking shit about me and I'm sore, I'm probably just gonna be like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm already sore. Like, he's already kind of embarrassed me. Like, I'm just gonna lay here. I'm not gonna get up and try to make it any worse. I'm not feeling great. I am just going. You know when they say like, just take the L and like live to play another day. I'd probably do that, man. I'd just be like, all right, I'm just gonna lay here. I'm gonna hear what he has to say because the beauty of it, Sean, is we still have another week of TV going into Saudi, and that is what I'm looking forward to. That is what I am hanging my hat on, is what they say, right? I think and I hope this sets up Punk and sets the stage for just a destructive Punk promo, man. And I think that is what Punk has been waiting on. I think if they were looking for a situation, they being WWE, to really set the stage for Punk to be able to just unleash against the perfect opponent, the perfect scenario, the perfect history, the perfect bank to pull substance from, this is it. This is it, dude. A lot of people have claimed that Punk is Cena's best rivalry in WWE and vice versa. I'm haven't put much thought into that, to be honest with you. I'm not even gonna say that's not true. But you wanna set the stage for Punk to unleash on someone? This is it. This is it. So if we don't get that next week, then I'm gonna be like, okay, like, why not? you know? And I think too, the way that Cena took him out this week was kind of perfect because it was enough to have Punk be out for a decent amount of time, right? Like, did they kind of draw it out there? Yeah, but to play into the story of the segment that's leading into the match, they had to, because I really want to know the time frame. If someone knows the length of Cena's promo compared to Punk's promo from back in the day, please let me know, because I think the idea was to have it go damn near equal amount of time, which is why Cena kind of drew it out a bit, and not even like drew it out in a bad way, but he kind of, the cadence of it rather. So I think it was just all playing into the story, man. I think if it was any other type of environment and any other promo and any other two people, I don't think it would have been that long. I don't think it even would have happened that way. So any other situation, I probably, not even probably, I most likely would agree with you. Like, yo, like, come on. But for the reasons, I just said there, like, I think that's why it played out that way. And that's why it didn't really bother me, because it was the story, and it was, and another thing, if I'm Punk, for what I just said there, another reason too is, okay, like, bro, like, you think you're getting the upper hand on me right now? Like, you think you've gotten the upper hand on me the past couple weeks promo wise? Like, got you, bro. You say you're the GOAT? Okay. And what it also made me think of was that segment between, hold on, buddy. That segment between Roman Reigns and Cena back in 2017, was it? When Cena went out there and just destroyed Roman. He was like, what did he say? He was like, the reason I'm still here part-time is because you don't know how to do your job. Some shit like that. Can easily hear Punk referencing that promo and just unleashing on Cena next week, even if it's next Friday, because I don't see it happening on Monday, right? Just unleashing and using that as Punk's base and template to go against Cena, and be like, the reason I had to come back to WWE is because you couldn't do your job full-time or part-time, and just unleash and just go off on Cena in that route. So yeah, man, I don't know, like, I think just, and again, I'm very, after this I'm going to go back and hear some other like content creators' thoughts. But I don't think Punk was buried in this. Like, I could be wrong, but to be fair, again, now, like I mentioned earlier, if they had Cena go out there and do this, do this whole segment on Friday, and then we hear nothing from Punk and we just go into the match, then I'm gonna be like, really? Like, you had Cena do all this to Punk, and I don't want to say destroy Punk, but I mean, call him out on some shit. and you don't even let CM Punk respond. That's the whole point of CM Punk. Like, that is why Punk is at the table, bro, is to respond to shit like that. So if we go into Night of Champions and Punk does not get a chance to respond, then I'm gonna be like, yo, like, I'm gonna look at it kind of sideways, and especially the follow up after that, I'm gonna be like, and could this just be match one? Could we be getting a rematch between these two leading into what would be SummerSlam? I don't know, because we still have Cody Rhodes up there too. I don't necessarily see that. That would be my only other thought on if they don't let CM Punk respond going into Night of Champions, depending obviously on the match outcome going after that. If they're setting up a match 2 for them, that could be the opportunity where Punk responds, because then he would be even more pissed depending on the outcome at Night of Champions, and Punk would just be pissed off and, go from there. So we'll see. We'll see how that, trickles out, I guess, and how that plays out at Night of Champions. But I just really think this promo and this segment from Cena sets up Punk to be able to just, I almost say eviscerate, but to just really go after Cena, dude. And Cena, to his credit too, Cena is that guy. He loves that shit. From everything we've heard of Cena, and just seeing his facial reactions and promos with Rock and with Roman, right, back in the day, when he's having fun and he's out there like really going at, they're like going back and forth and he's feeling it, bro. Cena lives for that shit, because Cena is a spitfire, man. Like, we know how good Cena is on the mic, dude. And say what you want about him, right? Like, I know, obviously, you don't need to be a super Cena fan, right, or anything like that. But dude is solid on the mic. Solid, probably even an understatement. So the best two people that you probably have on the mic, and you don't allow CM Punk to respond to that, I think would be just a travesty, to be honest with you. So that's what I'm looking forward to next week on SmackDown. Again, if we don't get that, I'm going to be very disappointed. Very disappointed and feel like they left a lot of money on the table. So, ball's in their court, and I don't know, man. I was going to say, even if they don't have Cena, depending on date-wise, show up on Raw or SmackDown and just have Punk respond to Cena that way, I don't think it would pack the same punch, because you would want Punk to fire back to Cena in his face. But you could very easily do that on SmackDown. So that's what I was saying, because I'm pretty certain sometimes they are already in Saudi the Friday before, like the SmackDown before, or sometimes they tape it in advance. And I don't know if they've taped it in advance this time. So we'll see on that. But man, like, if it doesn't set the stage for a Punk rebuttal, then I don't know what they're doing. So that's my thoughts on that. Some of the individual lines, like when he was like, oh, like they technically like TKO because they knocked your boss technically off your body. They didn't technically knock them off, but I get that. And that was the other thing about the two. Like, he calling him Mr. TKO, like, okay, I didn't necessarily agree with that, because dude's not Mr. Corporate, like, he's not out there, like, he's wearing suits when it's appropriate, right, and it's the appropriate setting, but he's not coming out there every week like Cody. I would say Cody, if anything, is Mr. TKO before Punk is, like, what, because Punk came back and signed a contract with WWE, and like TKO, like, he's, I don't know, that one didn't really hit with me. And like, I don't know, the technically part is like, technically they didn't, and if technically they did, then Punk would have a nice little lawsuit against them, because I'm sure AJ wouldn't be happy about that. But yeah, so that's my thoughts overall on that, guys. I'm gonna go through your chats here, and then we will be wrapping it up. But thank you, as always, for joining me on Saturday morning. I appreciate you guys. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. Obviously, here to Brass Ring Media, to the good old stream here. If you would like to follow me, you can do so on YouTube as well. You can follow my channel and subscribe over there at Kagash Podcast. So whatever you feel inclined to do. We appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a dog. He's like trying to get in my lap. He doesn't do that often. I'm like, bro, like, relax, buddy. Yeah, the Firefly Funhouse. Yeah. How the fuck can I forget that? Jamie, yeah, Braves your favorite ever? Yeah, dude. Oh, I miss him, bro. So sad. But yeah, guys. Yeah, so I know. Trust me, I know. And it sucks, too, because everything is so political now, and it's just. Yeah, sigh. You and me both, bro. He says, no, someone with no discipline, definitely not straight edge. You and me both, bro. You and me both. Oh, shout out Kelly in the back. Yeah, I don't know, Dr. Reich. She said, is there anyone on the WWE roster who has said they still won't wrestle in Saudi? I don't know. I don't know, man. Oh, yes, I good point. You said, responding to Dr. Ross, possibly Aleister Black, that may be related to his tattoos and him not being allowed in, though. Fair point. Fair point. I don't know, man. I don't know. Side no. Sadly, actually, let me double check my schedule for next Saturday. But I do not plan on doing. Oh, sorry. Plan on doing a watch along next week because I'm pretty certain I will be working next Saturday. I'm double checking my schedule. Today is the 21st. Actually, I go in at 6. You got 5. How long do you think the show would last? Hmm. It starts at 1. You don't see it going over 4 hours, right? Possibly. Possibly. Because normally on Saturdays I have to start work at 4. Sometimes a little bit early, but generally it's 4. But this Saturday coming up, I don't go in until 6 p.m. I would have to leave at 5, though, because it takes time to get there and with traffic. So potentially, I'll get back to you on that, but that may be a possibility. Because I think their shows maybe go, what, around 3 hours, 3.5 hours? Yeah, man. So we'll see. We will see, my friend. Oh yeah, RT the brand. Good point. Thanks for bringing that up. You said I wouldn't be surprised if the angle was Punk's idea. I 1,000% think it's his idea or was his idea. 1,000%. Good morning, Malin. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I don't. What up, bro? What up? What up? Yeah, it is wild. It is wild. I know, man. That's why I kind of don't want to get off because you guys are popping off in there. It's kind of entertaining. But I am off tonight, so I will be going live on my channel, Kick Ash Podcast, later this evening to just fuck around, and talk some shit. I do plan on trying to catch up a little bit this afternoon on some wrestling that I have missed, so we will be doing that, and I will be doing that, and I'll be talking about Goldberg, bro. I'll be talking about fucking Goldberg over there, and we'll be getting into that because that's just something else, my friends, something else. Oh, Sean. What up, bro? You don't need to do this. I appreciate you, man. You said, why are we doing more Tiffany and Nia? Because what else, man? What else are they gonna do? No, that promo was not great. That promo segment was not great. And I just, for whatever reason, man, Tiffany is just not as, I don't say not as hot, I don't mean that physically, but just not as hot as I thought it would be, like run wise. So I don't know. To be honest, like I wouldn't even be surprised if I thought about it if Nia became champ. So with it being falls count anywhere too, like Tiffany technically, not even technically, but she wouldn't be taking the 3 count. So we'll see. We'll see, man. But I like that Charlotte is not involved. We've all bitched about Charlotte being just engulfing the championship and doing nothing but facing for the championship, and now she's not. So we do have to be happy about that and acknowledge that. Good morning, James. Good morning, man. Doing great. How are you, bro? Aw, so I appreciate that, man. Y'all make it great. I'm just here rambling on about some wrestling, just talking some shit, man. Y'all make it great. 4 hours for Saudi. Okay. Um, 1 to 4 5. It'll be tough. It'll be tough. We'll see, man. We'll see. I know. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the overlay, man. I owe you so much. But and it's just gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough squeeze. So I'll get back to you guys on that. I'd really love to, because I just love doing watch alongs with you guys. It's fun. But good morning, Maria. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. We will be wrapping up here soon, but I appreciate you guys. Oh, James, yeah. James, you said, oh, hey, Ashley, by the way, not guilty. How about that one, huh? Let's fucking go, bro. Let's go. Not guilty, dude. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, bro, I thought I was shaking when they were all standing there waiting for the verdict to be read. Dude, like, legit shaking. Oh, I legit clapped. I screamed. I was so happy. Like, so happy. You would have thought that, like I said, like she was related to me or I knew this woman. But it's just a win for justice, dude. A win for humanity, you know? I'm gonna get into that more on my channel. I don't know if you're subscribed to my channel, James. Kick Ash Podcast. Not a cheap plug. Just a question. But I'm definitely gonna be getting into that more tonight because I have a lot to say about Karen Reed and the outcome and some thoughts like that. So it may be a joint little stream tonight. A little bit of wrestling and a little bit of that. Don't know the time. Probably it'll be later in the afternoon for sure. Late afternoon, early evening ish, because I definitely want to take advantage of the day that I have and organize and get some shit done around here. And take my dogs out for a walk, bro. It's the weather's been kind of back and forth lately, so I want to take them out. But so James, yeah, I'd love to have you over there and hear your thoughts, dude, and really get into that. Cause yeah, dude, fucking wild. So happy though, like, just makes my heart so happy. Yeah, but Naomi, yeah, and dude, Sean, yeah, the Naomi, you said the Naomi cash-in thing last night was so dumb. It was. I don't get why they bring their own referee and then they get into the ring and then they stop and then they go to hand the briefcase to the referee and they're like, I'm cashing in, I'm cashing in, I'm cashing in. And the referee is like, Are you sure? Are you sure you want to cash in? And they're like, I'm cashing in. And it's like, first of all, what the fuck do you think like I'm bringing you down to the ring for? Like, you think I'm just bringing you down there just for shits and giggles? No, I'm bringing you down there to count the 1, 2, 3. Obviously, you and I both know I have the briefcase. So that's your job as a referee to count the 1, 2, 3. I don't know why it's always a discussion. Like, they get into the ring, it's like, oh, okay, now that I have you here, this is what I want to do. I want to cash in my briefcase. Are you sure you want to cash in the briefcase? Yeah, I'm really sure. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm 100% sure. Is it 100 or is it like 95, 98? No, I'm 100% sure. So they go through like 30 seconds to a minute of like debating on if this person is cashing in. And then by the time the person goes to cash in, the champion is up, you know? So it's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And last night it was just so obvious. So obvious. And it was like, really? Like, really? Come on, dude. I hate when they do that shit. And it's not obviously just Naomi, it's the majority of the like fake attempted cash-ins, right? It's like, bro, like, you already know why I'm bringing you down here. I don't need to tell you. What is that? I don't need to tell you why I'm bringing you down here. You should have already had the discussion backstage. First of all, you should have had the discussion backstage because if you're a referee and it's just, let's say Naomi doesn't have the briefcase, right? Like, if you're a referee and you're backstage and you're Naomi and you're just like, hey, referee, come down here with me. Like, run to the ring with me. Like, why? Why would you be running down to the ring? Like, why else would you be doing that, right? Like, she's not making her own match. Nothing. So, like, what would you be doing? Second of all, knowing she has the briefcase, she sees you and you're like, all right, ref, let's go. It's not your first day. And if it is your first day, you should already have WWE knowledge. So you should know what the money in the big briefcase is. Not saying you need to know Naomi's origin and like what she did, like FCW days and shit like that. But like, you should know, okay, the briefcase means she's going to cash in or this person can cash in at any time. So I need to be ready. Don't need to explain the fucking rules. So, Sean, you brought up a last second little rant there. Just like, I just couldn't believe it, dude. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I don't know why it's always a surprise. Like, I can get one final question from the referee to, we're using Naomi in this situation, right? Once you get to the ring, she's in the ring. She looks at you one last time. She goes to hand you the briefcase. She goes, I'm ready to cash in. Ring the bell. If you want to be that person, if you want to be like, okay, have the referee ask, are you sure? She'd be like, yes. Done. That's it. You don't need to go back and forth 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Be done with it. I don't even see why the referee needs to ask at all. But if you want to be fair and be like, ask at least once, okay, fine. It's like when a ref or a wrestler is injured, right? Like, which I don't agree with either, but when the wrestler gets like beaten down before the match and the referee is like, are you good to wrestle? And the person's like barely able to stand up, they're like, yeah, I'm good. Whatever. But yeah. I don't know, man. It's just, wrestling is what it is, right? But like little things like that, like, you can tighten up on. Just my opinion. But Sean, I blame you for that one. But yeah, guys, so I am going to wrap up here shortly, like I said. But yeah, Sai, like I said, probably evening time. Yeah. I appreciate that, Universal. I definitely do not have the best, but I love sitting here and bullshitting with you guys. Yeah, Universal, like I said earlier, I don't know because I do have to work. I'll have to leave here at like around 5, if not a few minutes prior to get to work. Um and I would hate to like do the watch along and then have to leave right before the main event. You know what I mean? So TBD on that. TBD. Oh yes, James. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So I appreciate that, bro. But guys, we will be wrapping up here. Thank you so much. I said as always for joining me here on Saturday mornings, man. Y'all could be doing a lot of shit with your day, especially Saturday mornings. You could be sleeping in, doing whatever. And I appreciate that you guys join me here. Whether you're watching here on YouTube or on Twitter, I appreciate that. A lot of people watch on Twitter, like I said. It's very interesting. Um I'm still debating on signing up for Twitter on or the premium service on my channel. So we'll see. We'll see. But a lot of people do it does like help the show grow a lot. So we'll see. Just conflicts, you know. But thank you guys again. I truly appreciate it. It's not just some bullshit. I do appreciate you guys joining me here. Whether you join me live or you watch on replay, it means a lot. Again, not to be that person, but if you would, definitely think about subscribing to the channel. Browsing Media here. We do have a Patreon as well. Like the stream, dislike if you'd like as well. Let me know why you dislike. That's the only thing I request. And then of course you can follow me on my channel here on YouTube as well, Kickash Podcast. It is one word. So please please feel free to do that as well. And I'd love to have you guys over there. Like I said, I'll be going live at some point this evening. Maybe around 5 or 6. We'll see how the evening goes. And how my chores go. So thank you guys again. I appreciate it. Until next time, guys, take care, enjoy some wrestling, and be safe out there. Have a good weekend.